Hello my little droogies, welcome back. It is day 21 of Preptober, only 10 more days left to go until Nano, and it is a very exciting day because today we are finally going to announce our projects. In my last couple of videos we all got our blurbs ready for our novels and created a Pinterest board and a playlist to help inspire us. I will link those videos in the description if you haven't seen them yet, but for the rest of us, let's go back to the NaNoWriMo page and finally announce our projects. So first we click My NaNoWriMo, and then we click Projects, and now we get to click Announce a New Project. Hooray! I've been looking forward to this so much. First of all, it will ask, what is the name of your project? Basically, the name of your novel. So if you have a name in mind for your novel, use that. If not, you can come up with a temporary name for it, like Project X, or Project Untitled Murder Mystery, or Bob. I don't know, call it whatever you like. My project is called Villains because that is the name of the story that I'm working on. Then it will ask for the status of your project. Is it prepping, in progress, drafted, completed, or published? I will assume none of them are completed or published yet, or else why would you be making a project for them? Most of you will be in the prepping phase, which means that you are preparing to write it. Some of you might be in the in progress stage, which means that you've already started writing it. And if you have already written your first draft and you are now working on your second or third draft, then your status would be drafted. Of course, you can come back and update your status as you progress. I'm going to set my status as in progress because I have already written some of my novel, and over Nano, I am going to be continuing from where I left off. Then it asks how much privacy do you want. So if you want your story to be completely private and for you to be the only person in the world who knows you're working on it, you can set your project to private. If you set it to buddies, then anybody who you have added to your buddy list on NaNoWriMo can see your project. And if you are a big show-off like me, then you will want to make your project public so that it can be seen by everybody in the world. Then it will ask what type of project you are working on. Is it a novel, a short story, a memoir, a script, non-fiction, poetry, or other? I'm guessing most of you guys are working on novels, but if you're working on anything else, then just click the appropriate box. Next, it will ask you if you want to associate with a NaNoWriMo event. We have NaNoWriMo, which of course is in November, Camp NaNoWriMo, which takes place in April and July, and if you want to write your novel in your own time, then you don't need to associate with an event at all. That said, if you do associate with a NaNoWriMo event, I believe that there are lots of goodies that you get if you win, so definitely going to click that button. Now we move on to your goal. If you are participating in NaNoWriMo, then your goal will already be set for you. Your goal is to write 50,000 words towards your novel over the month of November. But if you are not taking part in a NaNoWriMo event, then you can set your own goals. Maybe 50,000 words in a month is a bit much for you. Maybe you want to set a goal for 30,000 words in a month, or 10,000 words in a week, or 1,000 words a day. You can set yourself any goal you like, and you can specify whether your goal is for writing or for editing. And finally, we move on to details. What is the genre of your novel? You can provide a summary of your novel, and you can provide an excerpt from your novel. You can also link a Pinterest for your project and a playlist for your project. So my novel is going to be a fantasy. We are going to be using the blurbs we wrote as our summary. And I have already written the prologue for my novel, so I will copy and paste that into the excerpt section. If you haven't actually begun your novel yet, don't worry, you can always just leave this space blank for now and then add an excerpt once you actually have an excerpt to add. And here we will include the Pinterest board and the playlist that we talked about yesterday. Again, these are all completely optional, but a lot of writers find them very useful. And as soon as we click on Save Project, your new project will now be ready. See, there it is, Project Villains. I am so excited to get started. Now, if you click on it, you can make some edits. For instance, we can create a cover for our projects. For this, you can use one of the images from your Pinterest board, you can generate an AI image, if you can afford it, you can hire an artist to create some cover art for you, or if you're artistically inclined, you can always come up with a cover of your own. As for me, I am going to pull a here's one I made earlier. This is actually the cover art I made for an interactive fiction novel that I wrote a few years ago, but the novel I'm working on right now is set in the same world and has a lot of the same characters, so I'd say it's good enough for now. Then you have your update button over here. Basically, every day that you do any writing towards your novel, you need to be sure to keep track of how many words you've written that day and update your project to show how many words you've written. Do not forget to update your word count or you will fail NaNoWriMo even if you have actually reached your goal. Now, if you click on goals, you will obviously have your NaNoWriMo goal of 50,000 words over the month of November, but you can also add other goals for yourself. So you can set yourself daily goals and weekly goals. 50,000 words might seem a little daunting, but if you break it down into bite-sized chunks of 1,667 words a day, it seems a lot more doable. And finally, the last section we have here on the right is badges, the most fun part of every NaNoWriMo project. What exactly are badges and how do you get them? Well, that is what we are going to be talking about tomorrow. Your homework for today is just to announce your NaNoWriMo project. Use your blurb and your Pinterest board and the playlist that you created. Maybe find an image to use as a cover and you are all done for today. In the meantime, please don't forget to subscribe if you want to keep following my Preptober and NaNoWriMo vlogs, because I am only a teeny tiny YouTube channel, and the thing about small channels is that if you're not subscribed to them and you lose track of the link to the channel, it can be very, very difficult to find them again. Even if you know the name of the channel or the name of the video that you're looking for, YouTube is more likely to recommend large channels and videos that have a lot of views and bury the channel that you're actually looking for way down beneath. So yeah, please subscribe and I hope I see you guys tomorrow. I am back. Have no fear, Avery from the future is here to save the day. So today I talked about creating a project on the NaNoWriMo website. I have created my project on the NaNoWriMo website and I fully intend on using it. But what about you guys who are not going to be using the NaNoWriMo website this year? What are you going to do when November hits and you still want to take part in the NaNoWriMo event, but you don't want anything to do with the NaNoWriMo organisation or the NaNoWriMo website? Where are you going to go? And that is what Avery from the future is here to talk about. So there are a lot of things that people are going to be looking for in terms of replacements for NaNoWriMo. Part of it is going to be the community side of things, but part of it is also having a way of keeping track of your novel and how much progress you've made, and that is what we are going to be talking about today. So the first website that we're going to be taking a look at today is My Write Club. When it comes to keeping track of your projects, this is extremely quick and easy to use. The NaNoWriMo project tracker will ask dozens of questions about your project. My Write Club will only ask 4. Unit of measurement, so words, chapters, scenes, pages, etc. The amount of words or pages or whatever it is that you are aiming for. A description, so most likely the name of the novel that you are working on, and the deadline for your goal. So we'll put the 30th of November as the deadline. It will also ask, do you plan to work on the day of your deadline? Yes, I do. And do I want to make my goal private? No, I don't. And here is the new goal, very simple and easy to use. If you want to update your word count, just type the amount of words that you have written in here and it will update your progress. It will tell you what percentage of your goal you have completed and it gives you a little chart down there so that you can see your progress. Now, we can quickly see an issue with this goal. It allows you to choose a deadline, but it does not allow you to choose a start date. So if you want to use My Write Club to track your NaNoWriMo goal, then you will need to create your goal on the 1st of November. That's fine. I will just delete the goal for now and then add a new one when November begins. The next website we will look at is Novella. So let's create a project here. The project is a novel. We can use our blurb as a synopsis. So we can add a cover. looks like you can change the names of the chapters if you want to have a prologue or something. And you can add a synopsis for each of the chapters. That's useful. So it looks like on this website you actually input your writing into the actual chapters, which is very useful if you want to back up your work. Doesn't look like you can actually set yourself any deadlines or word goals. Maybe you can get them in the premium bundle that you pay for, but as for the basics, I cannot find anywhere where you can set yourself any goals. So still a very useful writing program, probably more useful for a long-term writing project if you want to record the progress of your novel from start to finish. So I definitely recommend Noveler. And the final website we're going to have a look at is Online Writing Log. So we click the red plus button to start a new project. We can add a cover image right away, so let's do that now. Then we add our project name and our blurb, our novel's genre, and what type of project it is. We are using the free version, so it is not billable. And now we get to add our milestones. So I'm going to add a milestone and call it NaNoWriMo. With this program, you do get to choose a start date, so I will set the start date to the 1st of November and the end date to the 30th of November. The milestone activity is writing. The milestone stage is in progress. The word count goal is 50,000 words and the starting count is 0. And then we click Save Your Goal. And here we have it. It looks really good. I think of all the three we've looked at so far, this setup is probably the closest to the kind of setup that you would have on the NaNoWriMo website. So those are three great alternative websites for anybody who isn't using NaNoWriMo this year. I will link all of those in the description for you guys to take a look at. And if anybody has any suggestions for any other websites that use goals and deadlines and word count trackers, then please recommend them in the descriptions. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope I see you tomorrow.